Welcome back, everyone. It's the Freak and the Geek podcast. We're coming to you once again from the Yard Line, our home away from home. We've got a special guest, Nick Culves, here with us today. He is the operator and founder of Cruefest, a Hollywood charity organization which helps preteens with cancer. We've got some really good bar stories for you, some travel stories, some of the famous people Nick's met over the years he's run this organization. So, what's up, man?
A lot of fun times, man. A lot of fun times.
Fun times? You want to go right into the pictures, or you got a story you want to tell first?
No, we can just get right into it, man. It's all cool.
All right, folks, we're going directly into the pictures. And I think we got maybe 15, maybe 20 pictures here. And this is you at NAMM with Nikki Six, it looks like?
Yeah, Nikki and the rest of the Motley guys have been great about sponsoring Cruefest, signing stuff for it over the years. It's been really cool. Even after they called their tour Cruefest, they were still really cool. They knew what we did. They knew it was put together by the fans, for the fans. And so they've always been cool. That's a picture of Nikki and I talking about, he was signing something for Cruefest. And actually, I was giving him my business card then, told him if he needed anything to let me know, blah, 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 blah. Just small talk. There was a line of people behind me wanting to meet him. So I was just taking my, few seconds to hang out. This here is a picture of Marty Casey, who's the singer for a band, the Love Hammers, out of Chicago. He was
we talked about them a little earlier in the week.
Yeah, Marty is not only a singer for the Love Hammers, but he is also on a reality TV show on CBS called Rockstar In Excess. They were looking for the new lead singer for the band In Excess. He got second on that and actually went on tour with In Excess and has done some other tours and some solo stuff. But he had a hookup from a girl that he knew. We had free tickets to the Indy 500, and we also had passes that we actually stood on the track. We had access to everything, the garages. We stood on the track on race day. I mean, we had access to everything, including some of the parties the night before. So that was a fun time.
Looking a little hungover in the picture.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That's what the sunglasses are for. This is a band hanging out at NAMM. I actually just got back from NAMM. This was taken a few years ago. This is the band Lizzie Borden. AC and Martin are good friends of mine. Lizzie's more of an acquaintance.
Who's this guy on the right?
That's AC Alexander.
He looks a lot like Joe Perry from a distance.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's got shorter hair now, but he's a cool guy, really good guitar player. Martin on the far left, I actually just hung out, talked to for a little bit just this last weekend. And Lizzie was there as well. Great guys. This picture here was actually taken.
I know exactly who that is.
Yes, that's Bobby Brown. Most notably from Warrant's Cherry Pie video. This was taken at the Cruefest Hollywood press conference we did. We only did this one time. We had everywhere. We had obviously Bobby Brown. We had Stacey Blades from LA Guns. We had Chips Enough from Enough's Enough. Let's see who else. Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses. Willie Bass from Black Sheep, which was actually Slash's band he was in before Guns N' Roses. Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale.
Never mind those guys. What's Bobby Brown doing nowadays?
Bobby Brown was on a reality show called Ex-Wives of Rock recently, who's actually their third season is coming out here this summer. And her and Athena, which is Tommy Lee's sister, Ashley Blue Dixon from who is married to Jerry Dixon from Warrant, and also there was somebody else in Sharice Neal, who is married to Vince Neal and is actually Skylar Neal's mom. All of them are on the show, and they're coming out with their third season. And
so it's still on.
Yeah, it's on. They've done the first two, and it just got picked up for a third season.
What channel is it on? Because I'm gonna have to watch.
You know what? It was on the Fuse Network, and now it's on. I think AXS, but I'd have to check on that. But it's coming up, and that was taken from the press conference. This is actually a picture of Vince Neil. He is autographing. This guitar was done by an artist who does Vince's guitars. He, whenever you see Vince on stage with the cool guitar, painted up nice, this is the guy that does it. He did one for Cruefest Hollywood, and it was autographed by Nikki and Tommy and Vince.
So they just gave the guitar to you guys?
Yeah, we gave them the guitar. He painted it for free, and then the Motley guys signed it.
Okay.
And did it for the auction. This was a picture at the Rainbow in Hollywood.
A man who needs no introduction.
Yes. And
if you were alive in the 90s.
Yes, this is Ron Jeremy, who pretty much on a nightly basis you can find at the Rainbow. Ron is a very nice guy, very cool, always good for pictures. He was actually going to help host Cruefest one year, and something ended up coming up, and it didn't help, or it didn't work out. But Ron's always been cool. A very good friend of his, Sarah, is also a very good friend of mine. That's how I know him. And Ron's been cool. He's more of an acquaintance than anything, but.
I actually ran into him a couple of times. I don't have his phone number or anything, but.
I actually have his phone number.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy ever, but he has the worst jokes. I don't know. I don't want to throw him under the bus. He was a fucking great guy. He hung out with us and talked for like 30 minutes when we ran into him, but.
Well, if you ever see him notice his wardrobe, it's usually stuff that he got free, or his entire wardrobe probably cost him less than $15.
Yeah, he looks Jewish, but I think I watched a documentary where they were talking, or he looks Italian, but I was watching a documentary.
I think he's Jewish.
They were saying he's Jewish, yeah.
Yes, and he very much does not spend his money. Most of the stuff he's got is either paid for or given to him.
What was that, the movie he was in where he got shot within like the first 30 seconds of the movie? It's really popular, like...
I don't remember.
Like, it wasn't popular in theaters. It was like a cult classic.
What was it?
Was it Boondock Saints?
Okay.
I think it was like early. I think it was like 1989-ish, type around there. And he's basically just in an office, and these guys come in and start shooting everybody. So you can't even see his face. He gets shot so fast.
That's funny.
But
That's funny. Yeah, Ron's an all right guy. This was actually a picture taken at Cruefest. Jack Russell from Great White had played. Dario Sasius is on the far right. Robbie Lochner is to Jack's right. And then Sean Duncan, who used to be in, well, actually still is. He's in a lot of bands right now. He's in the Bullet Boys. But
Bullet Boys are still around.
Yep, still doing it. And he was in a band, Odin, also. But great guys. This was after they got off stage. We have like an all-star jam. Some years we have like tribute bands. Other years we have like all-star jams. And we've had everybody from Steven Adler and Stacey Blades with the year they did the press conference. Vince Neil's son, Neil Wharton's played it many times. Tommy's sister Athena came. But these guys had just played and they did some covers. They actually didn't even do any Great White songs. Jack said he wanted to show up and just hang out, but didn't want to do any songs. This is a picture taken of NAMM of a bunch of drummers.
I know two of these guys.
Yeah.
Steven Adler.
Yep.
Ricky Rocket.
Yep.
And who's this guy in the middle?
That is Jackie Stone from Veins of Jenna. The band Veins of Jenna was actually a band that was put together in Sweden. They hadn't even played a show. We heard one of their songs on the internet, invited them to LA to play Cruefest. They thought it was a joke. They hadn't even done a show yet. And what ended up happening was they came over. They'd only done 6 shows when they got here. That night, Stevie Rochelle from the late 80s, early 90s band Tough was there. He was playing later in the night. Loved the guys. Ended up bringing the singer, Lizzie Devine, up on stage with him to do a song. Took him to Gilby Clarke's studio the next day, redid their demo, their CD, and ended up getting him signed. Bam Margera, the skateboarder, started Filthy Note Records so he could sign them. That's why he started the record
Is that what
label.
Gilby's doing now? He's just doing a lot of production work and stuff?
I believe so. I don't know him well, but Jackie has been a friend ever since they first got to the U.S. As soon as they got off the plane that Thursday, we hung out, and they ended up doing the whole Poison Rat tour in 2007, I believe it was. They went on to do, they're not together anymore. The singer Lizzie actually has a new band called The Cruel Intentions. And the other guys are back home in Sweden, but still great guys and great friends.
Just so we don't leave anyone out, who's this gentleman in the
That is Phil Verone from Skid Row.
Phil Verone, damn it.
Yep.
I knew him, I recognized him, but I couldn't figure out who he was.
Yeah, the girls might recognize him. He was actually in Playgirl magazine, too.
Oh, no.
I heard. I didn't see it, but...
Doesn't do the same thing for guys' careers as it does for girls' careers.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much.
But did you actually get a chance when the Hollywood Rose came to town? Did you get a chance to...
Hollywood, I did not see them when they came to town. Hollywood Rose is the Guns N' Roses tribute band?
No, the original band.
Oh, I did not
With
see
Tracy
them.
Guns?
I know
That's Hollywood Rose, right?
Tracy was in that band years and years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know they came to town recently. Or was it been a while ago?
That was like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I wanted to go, but I ended up being scheduled to work.
I
and
did
there
not
was like
see
a
that.
Colts game or some shit going on. I didn't get to go. I thought he was dead.
Tracy's
I didn't even know
actually
he was still alive.
Yeah, Tracy actually. I don't know Tracy well, but a lot of the guys that used to be in bands with him, Jeremy Guns is a good friend of mine, and some other people have been. Chad Stewart from Faster Pussycats used to be in LA Guns with them. Tracy's more of an acquaintance, but we have a lot of mutual friends.
Is this Vince Neil's parents?
This is Vince Neil's parents. This was actually taken at Feel Goods. Vince used to own, it's called Count's Vamp now in Vegas. It's a pretty big bar, has a lot of music there. That was when it was called Feel Goods, when Danny Coker, who owns the place now, him and Vince were partners, and it was called Feel Goods. And that's Shirley and Odie, Vince's parents, and that's Vince's ex-girlfriend. They went to high school together. That's his son Neil's mom, Tammy.
The Dice Man.
Yes.
Oh!
This is a funny story on this. Andrew Dice Clay's kids were in a band called LA Rocks. One played drums and sang, the other one played guitar. And great band, 2 guys in the band, and they rocked the place. Great kids, great band.
Do they open up for all his shows now?
I don't think the band's together anymore, the last I heard.
Oh, his sons. I mean,
His
not
sons?
necessarily the band, but both of his sons, whenever he does his shows now, when he puts his bigger shows together,
Mm-hmm.
his sons actually come out with whoever their band is at the time or just them two.
Yeah.
And they play, like 35, 45-minute set.
That's pretty
and open
cool.
up for him.
I know they still do a lot of stuff. I know Dice does a lot of stuff in Vegas, and it was pretty cool. I try not to get starstruck of anybody, but he's one of my favorite comedians, so I tried to play it cool. He was there for all day for sound check, all through the night. Well, anyway, as he was getting ready to leave when this picture was taken, I said, dude, I hate to ask, I hate to be a geek, but I said, could I get a picture with you? I said, you're one of my favorite comedians. And he's like, yeah. So we take a picture, and we get done. He goes, could I get a picture with you? It was just so cool that Dice asked for a picture with me. Like, who the hell am I?
He does that all the time.
It was really, really cool.
It's like one of his things. Another thing he does is he'll go to like stores to buy stuff. Kind of like bouncing back to the Ron Jeremy thing. He'll go to stores and he'll pick out like 3 things and try to get them to sell it to him for half price. I'm like, come on, I'm the Dice guy. I'm the Dice Man.
That's awesome.
And then, so he just has this weird way of like fucking with people.
I did not know that, but he was a great guy and very, very cool. That was a cool picture, and I was glad to meet him.
Yeah, he seems like he could go either way. It seems like a lot of the times when you see him on TV or in interviews and stuff, he's really cool, and then at other times it's like just flips out as a complete asshole. So never really, I don't think I could like gauge like who he actually is in real life.
Yeah, he was great to me. This was actually taken, this picture is a picture of Christy Canyon and I, which some of us that grew up in the 80s might remember her. She was in Hustler magazine. This was actually taken at the Hustler store on Sunset. They had the Hustler Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And the funny thing was they had Paul Thomas and Christy Canyon putting their hands in concrete to put outside the Hustler store. Well, Larry Flint was there too. And so they had a table set up for them, and they had another table off to the side. Well, we were set up in there early because they were one of the sponsors of Cruefest. So we got there early, and we're sitting at the table, and they have this roped off area. So all these industry people come in. They got all these porn people coming in. And all of them's looking at me because I'm sitting at this table with these 2 girls. And I look like I'm somebody. Right. And so they're all kind of looking at me and kind of giving me the little wave and the nod, like, like saying hi to me because they don't know who the hell I am. Yeah. But they feel like they should know who I am because there's 2 tables in there, and I'm sitting at one of them. And Larry Flint and Christy Canyon's at the other one. So, but I was just like, I'm
They probably
nobody.
thought you were a porn star.
I'm sure they did, if they only knew. But Christy was really, really cool. She posed for a picture with me. And this was a picture. We actually had a guitar signed by Paul Thomas, Christy Canyon, and Larry Flint. After the thing, went to the Four Seasons and had like dinner and drinks. And after that, Larry was getting ready to leave. And he was the last one I needed to sign the guitar. And so they donated that and to the charity. The guitar was something I had, but they all signed it. So it's a one-of-a-kind thing.
So this is a little off the cuff. Are you more Team Hefner or Team Flint?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not really much, never have been huge into that. I mean,
well, it's a multi-part question, so. I mean,
yeah, Hef's...
if I don't get you here, I'll get you the next 2.
Hef's pretty cool. It'd be hard to go against Hef, but I've never met Hef, and I have met Larry, and Larry was nothing but nice, nothing but cool, and it was an honor to meet him. So I don't know. I'd have to say that's a draw because, like I said, I've never been to the Playboy Mansion. I have been with Larry for a little bit.
Okay, so Old Hef, as you might know, has fallen on hard times recently. He's trying to sell the Playboy Mansion and live in it at the same time.
Yeah.
I guess it hasn't been redecorated for like 20 years or something like that, they were saying. It was an article I read. If this isn't true, folks, then I apologize. It's all hearsay. But Deadpool, who do you got first? Larry Flint or...
Wow.
who are you going with?
You know what? Wow. That's an awesome question. I have... now, I would have to guess that Hef's a little bit older. So if you're wanting to know who's going to go first, I would have to probably say Hef.
Yeah. I would say Hef too, but just because, like, Flint's been in that wheelchair for so long, since what, like 1979 or like 83 or something like that? Like, a long time. Hef's got to like live out his years, so I wouldn't feel bad if Hef went first.
Yeah, no.
Not that I want either one of them to go.
He's had a good life.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I wouldn't want either of them to go, but yeah, Hef's definitely lived the life.
Okay, so what are we going here? This looks like it might be some early years.
Yes, this was actually the band I was telling you about, Veins of Jenna. This was taken at Cruefest.
How young is this kid?
That's
right, the blonde
Nicky. He was probably 18
Yeah, he
at
looks
the
like
time.
17 to 19 top.
Lizzie's on the far left. He was the old man of the band. I think he was 23 at the time. But I think I know when they did tours, they actually came through Indianapolis, and Jackie and Nicky, after they played, would have to, and they loaded out, they would have to go wait. I remember it was freezing outside one time, and they'd played this venue, and they had to go outside and wait in the van for the rest of us to leave because they weren't 21, and they couldn't stay inside the bar. So they actually had to leave, but until they were 21. So, but yeah, I think he was like 18 or 19 at the time. This was actually a picture of...
I know everyone in this picture.
Yes.
I'm excited about this one.
This is got my wife Chilla and Brett Michaels. All four original members of Poison and Cinderella, when they were on their 20th anniversary tour, autographed this guitar for me. And I know especially the Poison guys weren't really fond of autographing stuff because they didn't want to end up on eBay or what have you. But they kind of know me, and they knew I wasn't going to put it on there. And their manager, or their tour manager, Rob Stevenson at the time, actually took the guitar around to even the Cinderella guys and got everybody to sign it for me. But they all autographed it, and Brett was the last one to sign it. He put Brett Michaels' 20th anniversary Poison on it, and something I would never get rid of. I love it to death. And
so this wasn't for the charity event. This is actually for you.
That was actually for me personally. Yeah. That was something that was for me, and they knew it was for me. And the Poison guys have always been good. They have signed guitars for the charity event also. But that one there was mine, and is actually hanging on my wall at home.
I was going to ask you to keep it in a case, or is it just kind of
it's hanging on some hooks. The hooks where you put it on it, and the thing it closes up. Yeah. It's hanging on that in my living room. That was actually, I'm not sure if it was the same. No, I don't remember if that was the same night or different. We was actually backstage after one of the Poison shows and just kind of having fun. And one of my buddies wanted to put the camera on the floor and just take a picture of us all hovering over it.
Is this pre-digital cameras, or is this right when digital cameras were like first becoming like a thing?
You know what? I don't really remember how. I remember he sat on the floor and the picture was taken. I don't know, now that you mention it, how the picture was taken. It must have been some kind of something that he could do, because we just sat on the floor and kind of hovered over it. But yes, that's Brett Michaels' crotch, ladies, there that the camera's on, and I had nothing to do with taking of that. So
we know it was all your idea, Nick.
Yes.
Who's this?
That is Chad Stewart. He's the drummer for Faster Pussycat. Chad is a good friend. I got to know
a little bit of weight since the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's
which was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He used to be in LA Guns, and Jeremy Guns, whose real name's Jeremy Carson, has been a friend of mine since, gosh, pushing 15 years now. And he introduced me to Chad. I actually just saw Chad just on my recent trip to LA. Always a great guy, always fun. I could sit here and tell you a few stories from him from times where he's been out on tour and we've been here in town. And
well, do me a favor, tell those stories when we get to that segment, but leave his name out. We don't want to incriminate him.
Okay, gotcha. This is actually a picture taken at the beginning of Motley Crue's final tour. It was actually, their final tour is a year and a half long. So this was like at the beginning, the very beginning of the year and a half tour. We were backstage, and it was just Nicky, Mick, and Vince, and my son and I.
I was going to ask if that was your son, and I was like, who's this kid in the jean jacket?
Yep. That was my boy, and it was a fun time. The guys have always been great, and that picture's really cool, just getting all of them together in that.
All right. So who is this?
That is Ashley Purdy. He's in a band called Black Veil Brides, who are fairly popular now. He used to be in a band called Stolen Hearts that played Cruefest years ago, and that was a picture taken at the Rainbow.
And this, one of my favorite guys, Rupert. Fucking love this guy. I actually donated time to his foundation, Rupert's Kids.
Yes.
Back in, I think, 09 to 011.
Okay.
011.
011.
2011.
I got
technically,
you.
there is an O in there because it's
Yeah,
2000.
yeah.
Yeah, he was always the nicest fucking guy.
Very
Remember,
cool.
like, I always was like, I wanted to talk to him, but I didn't want to talk to him because I knew he had to deal with all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I never said anything to him. And then one day, we were just standing around the office getting ready for a meeting, and he just came up and he literally like went out of his way, like put his hand on my shoulder, and like kind of gave me a little shake, and he was like, "How you doing this morning, freak?" And I was like, "I'm doing great. How you doing, Rupert?" And he was like, "I'm good, thanks." And then he sat down and we went through the board meeting, and then that was it.
Very cool.
But
That was
like 3
backstage.
weeks before I said anything to him.
That really sounds like the experience I had with him. He's nobody that I know. I'd only met him, I believe, this one time, but that was backstage at a concert. Some friends of mine in a band, Picture Yes. They're a local Indianapolis band, but they've toured with Saving Abel and other bands. They've played the Cruefest a couple times, but they had a show here in Indy with another band, and Rupert was emceeing it and doing stuff for his charity, and that was a picture taken backstage with him. It was cool to meet him.
Have you ever gone to any of the tattoo shows that him and Bill Levin put together?
I have not, no.
They're pretty cool. They used to do them at the Vogue. I'm not sure where they're doing them nowadays. 'Cause I haven't been to one for probably like 5 years, but Bill Levin's a fucking great guy. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. He has the First Church of Cannabis
Yeah.
here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
They had that gay bill where it basically made it legal if you didn't believe in homosexuality, you didn't have to sell them cupcakes for their wedding or beer or whatever. But there was some weird loophole in it, and I don't know what it is, but basically it made it legal that if your religion was smoking marijuana and that was your sacrament, that you could have the First Church of Marijuana, basically. So he created that. We've been trying to get him on the podcast for, I don't know, probably like 2 months
Is
now.
he still doing that? Is that still happening?
He is still, actually, yeah. I just saw some
Wow.
pictures on Facebook last week where they posted them.
Wow.
So I'm going to try and reach out to him again soon. I'm really hoping to get him on the podcast.
I've heard of it, but I've never been. I actually, believe it or not, I've never done any kind of drugs. It's, I don't drink beer either. No, I've always been more of a beer guy, but
Completely celibate, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah.
He doesn't believe in having sex.
Yeah, I can only go so far with this, but I have heard of that though, and it's very interesting.
Yeah. Nick, we fucked up, buddy. We spent so much time talking about this shit. We ran out of time to tell our road stories. So I promise you guys what we'll do is me and Nick will get together later, and we'll either do an audio podcast or we'll set some cameras up and we'll get that going for you. So sorry we didn't get around to that, but we will get to it next time. All of his charity information is going to be in the links below. Make sure you visit, donate if you can afford to. Thank you very much for your time. Good night.